So the next verse, so far, the first two verses were talking about the supreme personality of Narayana. So we started with how he is everything, how he is omnipresent, omniscient, and everything we discussed on the first verses. And the second verse, or we can say a stanza, whatever, which has been given there. So we have seen how he has explicitly been in everything and how he has cognized in every species, every creatures and everything. Now, going furthermore, now in the third verse, where Vyasa wants to introduce one of the beautiful avatara for us. So that's where the avatara level will be introduced now. So as I told you, the first supreme level will be started. Then slowly he is going to introduce the avatars. Each avatars will be introduced. And this we will enjoy what avatara, what Vyasa wants to bring in. Okay, it's really a beautiful avatara what Vyasa is going to recite here. So let me first read the verse and then we will go each word. What is the significance of that nama? And Yoga, yogo, yoga vidham netha, pradhana purusheshwaraha, narasimhavaha pushriman, keshavaha purushottamah. Yogo, yoga vidham netha, pradhana purusheshwaraha, narasimhavabu Shriman Keshavaha Purushottamah. A beautiful nama which derives and which talks about the some of the avatars. So he is trying to bring a beautiful avatar here. Let us see. First word or first nama what has been uttered here under the third verse is yoga. What is yoga? So always there is a question about this yoga. Many of us have this confusion with the word yoga. Yoga means always we are thinking about physical exerting exercises by you're twisting your body, doing like this, and physically doing something is called yoga. But in Gita, Bhagavad Gita, a beautiful verse says, Samatvam yoga muchyate. When you are in a stable or established in that stability, or in a beautiful way, we have to say, if you are in the balanced intellect, that is called samatva. Okay, when you are in a balanced state. And when you establish that stability, it is called yoga. In an easy way to understand what is yoga, yoga means union, associating with the divine nature, with that supreme. Okay, it is a union, or you get united with that divine. So what is the way that we can get united with the divine? Is that when you establish yourself in that balanced state only. So that is the main point here. When you are established in that balanced state, then only you can cognize the spirituality, or you can cognize the divine nature. Why it is very important? Because if you are established yourself in the other form, say for example, you are in the Rajoguna, you are not going to be able to see the God. Or if you are in the Tamoguna, you are not going to get into the divine experience. So it is very important that you get into that stability, that balance, which is Sattva Guna. And that Sattva Guna will take you to more calm and peace. And basically, it can take you to that balanced level of intellect. So that's what we say, Samatvam Yoga Muchyate, beautiful word. And this, remember, this beautiful quote was given by Krishna, where? In the war front. So it's totally contradictory, right? So in a war front where you can think about peace and calm in your mind. It is always the exerting yourself with all anger and everything, right? So you are yelling, your anger, your vengeance. This is what is going to outrage of everything is going to be there. In that battlefield, that's where Krishna is advising Arjuna, stabilize yourself. Samatvam yoga muchyate. So that means understanding a divine, what is very essential for us is divinity can only be realized when you are in the balanced state. Simple way of understanding. When I am balanced, I can see divine. That means I can understand my own Atma. If I am not in that balanced state, I am not going to see that, because I don't even see, because the illusion is covering me with all these Rajo and Tamoguna. See, understand, this is the very important trigger. Our body is responding to the Gunomaya. Our body is responding because of the Gunomaya. The Gunas are triggering something in you. The Rajoguna is triggering something. The Tamoguna is triggering something. This is where you are always tangling between these two. The balancing of Rajo and Tamoguna is happening all the time. Every time it is going on and on and on. That triggers your thought, that triggers your desire, that triggers everything. Your action is decided by this Rajo and Tamoguna. But we have to have that Sattva Guna to be there, so that if you catch the Sattva Guna and go with that, that yogam is going to be helpful. So that is where the Paramatma need to be understood. Only the Paramatma, the realization of Paramatma will come when we are in that balanced state. That is what we are saying as Samatvam Yoga Muchyate. Right? So all this realization of the yogam is all through him. So how do we understand? See, a beautiful analogy is given by Radhakrishna Shastrigal in his commentary. Supposing you have some food grains in your hand that spills out from your hand when you're taking up, and you spilled some of the food grains, rice grains or something, which spilled out. And supposing you have ants in your house, ants, small ants. If the ants are trying to carry the food grains, see, you didn't had an intention to serve it to the ant, but you took the food grains, some of the food grains spilled down in the ground, so that is being taken by ants. One of the action. Second action, you are taking a food grains, but you are seeing some ants are there, you are purposefully leaving two or three grains for the ants to take. Second type of nature of a brain or a personality. Third one, you are searching where this ant hill is there and offering the grains directly into the ant hill, and want to do this purposefully every time in your life whenever you take a handful of rice, whenever you cook. Now, what is the attitude? What is the attitude and personality of these three people? The first person, without any intention, he didn't even have any intention. It spilled out from his hand, so the ants are able to take it. Correct? He is more with his own self-interest only. The second person, at least he is having an awareness there is some creature like ant where he wants to give one or two. The third one, who I'm saying that he goes to the ant hill and offering that, he believes the Paramatma is also in the ant and I am going to supply it. Now we have to understand which level of thinking, which behavior or which attitude do we put into. All right. If we have that understanding, then there is no difference, right? There is no difference between an ant or a human being. It doesn't matter, whatever it is. That's why Annamacharya Kirtana goes, right? So he says, a sun is going to be the same for a dog, right? A sun, the ever bright radiant sun, and the glorious sun, the glowing radiance of the sun Is no difference between a stray dog which is in the street and also the palace king who is in the kingdom. Is there any difference between the sun rays? No. So Brahman is same. It's the same. The divinity is same for both, whether it is an ant or it's a human being, it's the same. How do we see that? If we can understand our own nature, that the Brahman is the same what I have, also same in the ant, then I'm getting into realization that divine revelation comes to me saying that Brahman Okkate, that is means one. So how do you get that? So that is the ultimate goal of yogam. So yoga means getting into that understanding. What is that? It's one. Ekam Sat. So we have to understand Ekam Sat. You will get into that vibe of realization where you think everything is the same. Beautiful. So he says, Vyasa gives a beautiful word, yoga. So that means Narayana is in his yoga. So that's why we see him. He is laying in where? He is laying in the snake bed, reclining there, and putting his hand, and he is resting there. And do you see the eyes? Is it open fully? Or is it closed fully? It's halfway. It's called Yoga Nidra. So he is just like that in a halfway. That means through that halfway, he is seeing the entire creation. And he is trying to keep that intact with that akshaha. So with that vision, he is keeping that. That means he is in the yoga. So to understand that balance, remember, it is a big milky ocean and he is on the top of a snake. And the snake also, we just in the previous verses also, we saw that how the snake's skin will be. All right. So in that he is reclining and he is stabilizing himself. That means a stability is what is important. So when you pray to Narayana, a stability is what is important for us, what we always need to seek, a balanced state of mind. That is what the yoga is all about. So yoga means getting that balanced state. So Narayana is that balanced state. And what is the next nama which goes? Yoga Vidham Neta. Neta means leader. One who leads is called Neta. Praja Neta. Neta means leader. Yoga Vidham Neta. One who understands this yoga. For all those people, he is the leader. And also what he does, he takes you in the path of yoga. He takes you all in the path of yoga. Correct? That's why we say ayanaha. Right? The word in Sanskrit, ayanam means direction. Correct? Ayanam means direction. So what does ayanam means? When you follow that direction, then we say that is how we are working or we are progressing. Okay. So where do we use this word? Rama ayanaha ramayanaha. Following the direction of Rama, Ramayanam. Following the path of Rama, Ramayanam. That is called Rama Ayanaha, Ramayanaha. So you follow the path of the dharma of Rama. Right? Uttara Ayanaha, Uttarayanam. So when the sun changes the direction north and south, so we have this every 6 months once we have this Uttarayanam and the Dakshinayanam period which comes. Right? So during that period, what happens? The change of the sun and its direction, we follow the path of the sun, then we say Uttarayana Punyakalam, Dakshinayana Punyakalam. So that means we need a leader to lead. Am I right? We need a leader to lead. We need a guide to lead us. Because you see, our samsara bandham is something which is very troublesome. It is given with a beautiful analogy how it is. how a human life is. Say, for example, you are walking and all of a sudden, you means I'm just giving an example. Don't think that you are. Okay, so you just imagine that you are walking and you slip into a well. The well is a very old well. Okay, think about that. You can see all those green color algae and all dusty things inside. The water is most dirty water there. You slipped. Okay, and what happens? When you slip, what you happen? Oh, something you are shouting, and you are trying to cling onto something, and there is some root or a tree stem was there, and the stem is also not that tight for you to hold. It is swinging there, making you go a little bit very near to the dirty water and come out, dirty water and come out, and dirty water and come out. Okay, in that dirty water, there is a three-headed snake is there, which is also coming out to catch you. Clear? Which is also coming out to catch you. And in the stem which is swinging there, you can see there is one big cobra which is also sliding into that stem. So you are dangling on that, place, and then you are shouting, screaming, yelling and all. And on the top of that well, there was a tree, and all of a sudden there was the honeycomb. The honey is filled and it is overflowing. A drop of honey came and dropped in your tongue. You are tasting the sweet. So this is the reality of the human life. So what the sweetness you are getting, those sweetness what you are getting is in your small things, what you think, wow, I have achieved in my life, is that small little drop of honey which has dropped into your mouth. But you are in that well, and then there is a three-headed snake which is nothing but Sattva-rajo Tamo Guna, which wants to elope and which want to help you, which is coming out from what? From the dirty water, which is your samsara sakara. And you don't know how to swing without anything. There is no support for you. You are clinging because your life is up and down, up and down, and up and down. And there is always a danger of snake which is also coming and want to invade you. In this, you are enjoying that little drop of honey. That is what the human life is all about. So this is a beautiful analogy given by Swami Dayananda Saraswati. I agree. This is the life because we don't know in what direction we want to walk. We are totally confused. We are so confused. Sometimes we think we are over intellect, over smart. Okay, smart in bookish terms, theoretically smart. We have no idea how to live our life. So confused. Even greatest psychologists also commit suicide and then they die. Am I right? So there was a beautiful writer, right? So what is that? He was the author of a book, How to Think Better, Positive Thinking and all. I forgot his name. He was one of the greatest positive thinking psychologists. Right? Some Williams, his name is. He committed suicide and died. But he wrote a book, How to Think Better and Live Better. You can understand what is the stage of these people, right? So you can understand how even the psychiatrists commit suicide because they don't know how to handle certain things. So why I'm saying is this is the tangling of a life because we are totally confused. We don't know how to lead our life. We need a neta who can take us out from all this samsara shakara, who is nothing but the Narayana, who says, Are, you want to come across, you want to come out of it, be at the yoga. Simple. You be at the Sattva-guna. Establish yourself in the balanced mind, I will take you out. So this is the one of the beautiful thing which we understand. So yoga vidham neta. So he is helping and leading us to get out of this Maya of the samsara. Pradhana Purusheshwaraha. So he is the Pradhanaha Purusheshwaraha. Who is Purusha? Who is considered to be the primordial or the prime supreme, right? We say he is the supreme. And he is considered to be the Pradhana. Why he is Pradhana? Because as I told you previously, he is the raw material who has created the universe. He becomes the raw material for everything also. And also he has been into a part and parcel of every creature, but yet he is out of it. This is something which is unique character which we need to understand. That's why they say our brain has a beautiful quality that you can be a part of it or you can be out of it. They say your brain has a beautiful quality to switch yourself to be an observer, to watch the things. Right? Your brain has that beautiful quality. So that's what some of the people, they say you train your brain in such a way, you be watching it, you don't catch it. So beautiful sentence, what Buddha will say, you just watch your thought, don't catch the thoughts. Why? What happens when you catch the thought? Thought will become manifest into desire, simply. So that will create a vasana. Vasana will create an imprint. Imprint will create some other thing. So chain a reaction and actions and all these things goes on and on. So what you have to do, be as an observer, watch the thoughts. Let it all pass through. You start staring at it. Sometimes you know what happens, you don't know. This, which I have observed in the classroom, when students are, having their own discussions and all, you just keep quiet, silently, you watch the students. All of a sudden, they themselves be, settling down and down and down. Everyone start looking at you, seeing that, yes, professor, what do you want? What is this phenomena called? So that same thing will happen to your brain also. You start observing it, you start watching it. So the thoughts, done. It will slowly reduce the thoughts and then it will go down and down. So beautiful understanding of how our brain can be switched into a different mode. So why I'm saying is, this is what a Purusha Tattva is all about. Purusha is a person who is a witness for everything what is happening here. He is always a witness. He's a universal witness. He's going to look at these things. So though he has been a part and parcel and a prime element of everything, but yet he also be as a witness of looking at it and how these things are working. So he is the main, primary person for that. Okay. Narasimha Vabu. Narasimha Vabuhu. Beautiful avatara. So all of a sudden, Vyasa is jumping into the first avatara of this Dashavatara. One of the famous avatara is called Narasimha Avatara. Right? Narasimha Avatara is called Narasimha Babu. So what is the story of Narasimha says? There was a king by name Hiranyakashipu who got a boon, right? So because he has been advised by his own guru, Sukracharya, to get a boon from Brahmadeva. What type of boon he got? He first is asking for Namrityuhu. I should not be killed, I should not be dying. So I should be mortal. No. Brahma says, no, it is not possible for anyone. In the universe, whoever has taken a birth has to be dying. So that's not possible. So you can make an amendment on your boon, whatever you want, and then you can ask that question. So the amendment was granted. Then this fellow is thinking, and he wants to add and add and add and add and add and add. So he wants to give a beautiful, big, type of a question to Brahma, saying that these are all the qualities of the boon. What do you have to give? What is that? I should not be dying on a daytime, not on the night time. I should not die outside the house, not inside the house. I should not die in the forest, not in the city. I should not die in the palace, not in the kingdom. So I should not be dying through fire or not through knife or not through any other weapons. All right. I should not be dying by the humans or not through any wild animals. So he has given a list of all the elements through which a death can occur to him. And then he said, you should give me such a boon. The Brahma said, Tatastu, given. So after getting this boon, what happens? All of a sudden, all these things goes into their mind, right? So their negativity starts. So they all start showing their negativity, their ego goes up. So what happens? He declares to the entire kingdom, everyone has to chant my name instead of God's name. So what do you have to say? Om Hiranyaya Namaha. So everyone from tomorrow have to chant my name. So everyone go and say Om Hiranyaya Namaha. Go. So unfortunately, what happens? His own wife was there in a pregnancy stage. All right. And then she's supposed to deliver a boy. So before that, what happens? Every devatas have told that this guy is getting too much. He's going to dominate, and he started dominating the entire universe. So something has to be done. So he has been given. So Narada is one of the greatest savior and who causes all of these confusions and commotions and everything. And he goes to that lady who is pregnant and she's sleeping, but the womb is listening to certain things. And this person, Narada, goes there and started doing the japa of Om Namo Narayanaya Namaha to that womb. So that womb is receiving that mantra from whom? From the direct disciple of Narayana, who is that Narada. The beautiful boon, what has been given to that Shishu. Then the Shishu was born, the Shishu was named as Prahlada. So Prahlada was born and he was given the direct mantropadesam from whom? From Narada himself. So when he was a Shishu. So whenever he was in the Gurukula, what happened? He started preaching to other children there, saying that Om Namo Narayanaya Namaha. So he started chanting only that. But all the other children are a little bit scared because they have to chant only who? Om Hiranyaya Namaha. So now they are a little bit scared, they were confused. So gurus are also saying, no, you have to say about your father's name and all those. He says, no. I will only say Om Namo Narayanaya. So this fight goes between the guru and all. So then this message goes to Hiranyakashipu, that your son is not, he's giving this type of instruction to his own fellow students, and then they are also chanting all these things. So slowly what happens, Hiranya was getting a little bit annoyed and he asks his son to chant his name. He is not at all saying his name. So this goes on and on. He starts punishing his son. Okay, these are the reality. What a devotee, when a devotee is under any pressure, you can see that how the divine incarnation comes into that picture and he helps you out, right? So now what happens? Prahlada was put in the fire. He was thrown from the mountain. He was given the poison. He was given every type of torture what can be given, so that only for one purpose, what is it? He has to utter his father's name, Om Hiranyaya Namaha. So he is not at all saying those words. But he is very adamant also. He is just going on saying that Om Namo Narayanaya Namaha. So this goes on. And one day, definitely Hiranya got a little bit mad and he calls him. And he asks him, what is that? What you are talking about? Who is that Narayana? Where is he? Can you show him? All right. So he says, he is everywhere. He is omnipresent. He is everywhere. He is in every piece, in a peck of any universe, whatever you show, he is there. So now Hiranya asks him whether he is there in this pillar. There was a pillar, right? So there is a pillar in front of him. He showed that pillar. Is he in this pillar? Yes, he told, yes, he is there in the pillar. He is there everywhere, right? So he takes his gada and he is slamming that pillar, and the pillar breaks. And there comes a beautiful avatara, which is called Narasimha Avatara. And imagine what is it? Narasimha Avatara happens around Pratosha Kala, which is around 5 o'clock of the evening. When you say for Shiva, the Pratosham, the same time Narasimha Avatara also has happened. That's why Pratosham is for both Shiva and also for Narasimha. They are very particular in that period, right? So he appeared on where? On that pillar, and he comes out. Now see the uniqueness of that avatara. What is it? Human body. Okay, lion head. Correct. Human body, lion head. Now let us understand. Out of the creatures, whoever, who is the supreme creature? Human beings. Am I right? Human beings are considered to be supreme. Why? Because we have the sixth sense. We are supposed to have sixth sense. We don't know. We think that we are all having sixth sense and we are working on it. So yes. So we think that that is supreme because we can think, we can react, we can make any communication and everything what is there in our brains. Our brains are very good, superior. So we think that is the best. So human beings, so supposed to be human beings' brain is the best. And what is the very bravest and strongest animal in the forest? Lion. Correct? So lion is considered to be the strongest animal in the forest. Now, if avatar has to happen, it should be other way. Am I right? It should be other way. It should be a lion's body with a human head. Then it makes justification saying that, oh, avatara, because your human head is there, you have a very great, human being's brain and the best of the best creature's brain, and then you have all the valor and strength of the lion and all. But it is totally opposite here. What has happened? Lion's head and a human body. It's totally opposite. What does it mean? What does it signify? For an avatar, anything is impossible for them. It doesn't matter. You need to have a human brain there to be having the best person and intelligent person to you. Because in that case, if you want to see, there is also another god we call Hayagriva. Okay, who is that Hayagriva? What is the Hayagriva's form? You will see horse face and horse head for that god. It's also Vishnu Murti's Swarupa. And we also pray to a beautiful god who is called Ganapati. What is the head of the Ganapati? Elephant. So that means an animal head doesn't matter. For divine, it is possible that could also be a supreme. So it is totally incompatible type of a combination, but that's why it is considered to be the unique combination here, because it's totally an opposite combination. What is it? Human body with the lion's head, which is sitting on the top. And what he did? He came out of where? From the pillar. Understand? You see an ant, and the small ants are being given birth from the living creature. Am I right? A living creature gives a birth to a living creature. A plant, sapling, living. Small insect, another insect, living. Fish, small fish, living. Dog, puppies, living. So a living can give birth to a living. Here, who has given birth to Narasimha? Who is considered to be the mother here? Where he was? He was inside that pillar. Pillar is a non-living thing. From a non-living thing, a living thing came out. Am I right? From a non-living thing, a living thing came out. That's why there is also one of the stotra which says, Are Brahma, this pillar is your grandmother. Correct? Because who is the father of Brahma? Brahma's father is Vishnu. Now Vishnu Narayana got the birth because he was there for some kshana, some minutes he was there inside the pillar. That means in the womb of the pillar, that great creature, that great creation was there. That great avatar was residing. That means who is the mother there? The mother is the pillar. That means the pillar is the grandmother of Brahma. Makes sense? But a non-living thing has given a life to a living thing. Totally controversy in understanding. Am I right? It's totally opposite side to understand this nature. So this is how it is. So the entire creation, entire avatar is totally a contradictory. And number three, what act he has done? He goes and he takes the, he drags the Hiranya and takes out, and where he goes, it's in the doorstep of the palace, neither outside nor inside. That is what the boon is, right? So I should not be killed outside. I should not be killed inside. So he dragged him to the doorstep. And in the doorstep, what he did, he told there should not be a weapon like fire or a knife or anything. He used what? His own nakash, his own nails to tear his stomach and take out. All right? Vajranakaya vitmahe. So he had this Vajranaka. So where he can tear him, take out his entire body from there. So, right? So he has taken out. So he killed him in that place. And this entire incident is happening, and supposed to be this type of a horrific event is happening. What should have been done with a small child, a Prahlada like a small child who is witnessing, should be screaming. Am I right? A horrific incident, an horrifying incident is happening in front, where some creature, something which is dragging his father and taking in front of that doorstep and trying to tear him into pieces. And there should be some screaming or yelling from a small child. Definitely he should be scared. But the child was just with the hands closed, doing the japam, Om Namo Narayana Namaha, Om Namo Narayana Namaha. Because it knows that creature is nothing but Narayana. See how different controversies were there in that one avatar. Am I right? Totally, you cannot even imagine, you cannot equate easily, because this is all in the opposite way that it has been made. But yet this avatara has come and it has established the dharma and it has done everything. And still what happens at the last, the Narasimha was so much ugra means so much angry that the entire universe can be burnt. So fire and everything is coming out, burning up, because he was so ragish, right? So his kopa was very big and enormous. No one can quench. So what all the devatas does, the Indras and everyone, they called Prahalada, Are Prahalada, because of you he has come here. Please go and please him. He will only listen you. So that entire Narasimha was just pleased by the Prahalada's chant. There is a Prahalada's stuti which is there for Narasimha, and he does the stuti for Narasimha, and Narasimha comes to his own, calmness, and he calls the Prahalada and puts on his lap, and as a child he is just keeping in his lap and listening to his stuti. Can you imagine such a boon was given to Prahalada through this Narasimha? What is the belief? A simple, strong belief of Prahalada. What is it? He is everywhere. A simple, strong belief, what he had in his mind, what he was emphasizing, that he is everywhere. That is where the Narasimha's avatar came into picture, right? So before that and after that, there is no contradiction. You can see when you talk about Matsya Avatara, it is full. Kurma Avatara is full. Varaha Avatara full. All right, so full in the sense there is no contradiction. Only in the Narasimha Avatara, you see this difference in it. This is the uniqueness. That's what he says. Vyasa is introducing Narasimha for what? To understand the Supreme doesn't need what you dream as this is the quality of a Supreme. It doesn't need that type of a structure or a shape. It can come in any rupam. That's why you need to be understanding something. You don't know. Sometimes you think that I want to meet a divine, but divine could be near to you in a disguised manner, right? So you have no idea. But you think I want to meet divine. Divine means for you, it should be only with the Kritadhari, Sankachakradhari, all the. Not necessarily. God can be of any form. God can be of any form, any structure, any shape to you. He could be a parrot, he could be a pustaka. That's why in one of the Guru Charitram, they say there are 54 types of gurus who can come and guide you. 54 types, different types of gurus who can come and guide you. That means what? What are all those? It could be a book which has given you that enlightenment. It could be a tree which gives you an enlightenment. You don't know from which form you will get that knowledge. So everything is divine, right? So, but just seeing a hamsa which is flying, a swain which is flying in the evening time, which is witnessed by a small child, he got into giddiness, he fell down in the fields in the Bengal, and the next day when he wake up, then that person is called as Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Because what he just witnessed is a flying white swain. By seeing the swain, something happened in his mind. What has cognized, we have no idea. What type of triggers has happened in his brain, we have no idea. All right. So these brains are something which we need to take into lab and investigate more and more to understand what type of neurons, what type of hormones have been going there. Right. So it's a totally different type of an understanding. What I'm saying is, how did they visualize? Because it could be a guru who knows who is there near to you. So he could be of a different possibility. Let us not judge. So that's why we in Sanatana Dharmam, what we say, for us, everything is God. Everything is God. Any form is God. Doesn't matter. When you see a stone, is also a God for us. Why we celebrate, why we want to pray to that? You may think it is a little stone, no? If Parabrahman is everywhere, why not in the stone? Simple. That is how we see it. So Narasimha Vabhu. So beautiful meaning which we get from that avatara. That means Vyasacharya, what he wants to say, a Parabrahman can come in any form. Be ready for it. Be ready for it. Okay? So ready to grab it. That's it. So he can come anytime, in any form, any shape, doesn't matter. Be ready for it. Next one, Sriman. Srihi Man. Srihi means Lakshmi. And Sriman means he is the husband of Lakshmi Devi. And number two is he is always having the Lakshmi Devi, is always having Lakshmi Devi where? In his Vakshasthalam. What is Vakshasthalam in here? In his own chest, right? In his own chest, he is always having the Lakshmi there. Nowhere he has separated from Lakshmi. And they say in every avatara, the Lakshmi was always there with Narayana. The Lakshmi, the Mata, has not gone out of Narayana. How do we understand? When the Sattva is there, okay, to understand in an easy way, when a Sattva, when a balanced state is there, what will be your result? What will be your result? Whatever you expect. Am I right? Whatever you expect, your victory, what you want, the prosperity, what you want, the wealth, what you want, the success, what you want, everything will be there for you when you are established in that balanced state. Am I right? Correct? So that point is very well established here. When you say Narayana is always having Lakshmi Devi with him. So here when we want to say, when you want to understand Lakshmi, I will say Lakshmi is nothing but the holistic person. Full. Purnaha. So when you are balanced, you will understand the Purnatva. Simple way of putting the Lakshmi Narayana Samedaha. What does it mean? In your balanced state, you can understand the wholeness. And your mind and physiology, everything will be in the holistic. because you will establish that wholeness. Simple. Okay. So in any avatara, it is said that in any avatara that Narayana has not separated from Lakshmi Devi. So there was one question, beautiful question in one of the commentators. The commentator says that. So when he was Vamana, I understand most of you are familiar with Vamana avatar, where he was like a dwarf when he came. So when he was Vamana, Vamana means he was a brahmachari. Brahmachari means he's a bachelor. Am I right? He's a small bachelor from a Veda Patashala boy. He has come there. Now the question is, during that avatara, he was not in connection with the Lakshmi Devi, right? Am I right? That was the question. That was one of the questions asked to the commentator. Beautifully said. A commentator said, even in that avatara, he has not separated from Mata, because this, when the child comes, they have to wrap themselves with the sari. He was wrapping himself on his, on his chest and all. He was wrapping himself with Lakshmi Mata's sari. So that means he has not even separated himself, even that he was having that physical connection. So in Vamana Rupa also, the sari, what he was twanging between, he was trying to robe himself on his chest, right? So usually, this vastra, what we have, right? The vastra is usually the silk vastra. The child was having a sari as a vastra, silk sari vastra, which is nothing but Lakshmi Devi vastram. That means he's still having that connection, right? So Lakshmi Devi Sri connection was there even in the Vamana Rupa. So that was one of the beautiful understanding what we can understand. Why we're saying is they are inseparable. As we say, Sri and Narayana is inseparable. Correct? As you are established in the yoga, that's what it says. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdaraha, Tatra Sri Vijayo Bodhir, Dhrivani Dharma Dharmama. That is the last one what you are going to study. You can understand. That is also the last verse of Bhagavad Gita. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, as Krishna is established in the yoga, following the footsteps of the Krishna, the greatest archer Arjuna is standing in the war. Am I right? As established in the yoga by Krishna, as followed by Arjuna as an archer in the war front, what he is going to get? Tatra Srihi Vijayaha Bodhir. So he will get fame, victory, and prosperity, whatever. It will come to you. You don't need to chase for it. So Sriman means it will be prosperity. Everything is within him. So everything comes to you as an addendum. So you don't need to go and search for it. It will be given to you as a byproduct. Sometimes you go, you get a bonus, right? Buy one, get one free, like that. So if you get into Narayana, Lakshmi Devi will be for you. So only thing is you need to establish that. It's like a person who is always given to you. So Mata will always come to you. She is always happy because she is Vishnu Patni. She always loves him, right? So Vishnu Vallabhaya. So she is always like that. We can get it. Next one is called Keshava. It's a beautiful word which is called Keshava. So one of the nama which is highly, which is considered to be the sacred mantra also, Keshava. Okay. Usually my guru says, whenever you are stepping out of your house, he will say, utter at least 3 times, Keshava, Keshava, Keshava. So this is like a protection mantra for us, because he is going to be with you all the way in the route, and then he will help you out. So that is why we say Keshava. Okay. Now, there are two ways of understanding this nama. One is Keshava nama means hair. Keshava means hair. Keshaha means hair. The hair here, one commentator says it is representing the hair of Narasimha because lion has the hair, right? You can understand. Lion usually have the hair. So those hair locks, what it is being called as a Keshava. The other type of understanding for the hair is originally Krishna himself. He's very much, he was very much appreciated for having a beautiful kesha. Krishna himself. Okay. He's considered to be having a beautiful kesha. Kutila kuntalam. That's the word we say. Kutila kuntalam. So Gopikas in the Vrindavan, they say that Krishna had a kutila kuntalam. So his hairs are very good, charming, beautiful to see. So another one to understand. Even Rama's hair, mated lock of his hair lock, was also appreciated. Kaka Pakshataram Veeram. That is how they have called him. Kaka Pakshataram Veeram. Kaka Pakshataram means his hair is so black color. Excellent one to see that. Right? A beautiful word split which is given by Radhakrishna Shastrigal, beautiful way of understanding. So he splits the Keshava word into individual letters and he is trying to give an understanding for that. What is it? Keshava means K. K will be Ka plus A is K. Am I right? If you split the letter, K is made up of what syllable? I plus A, which is K plus Ka plus A. Am I right? Ka plus A plus Isha. So I'm splitting the word. By Radhakrishna Shastrigal definition, I'm giving that. So Ka is nothing but Kaha means. Kaha in Sanskrit means Brahma. Kaha in Sanskrit is Brahma. Aha in Sanskrit is Vishnu. Aha in Sanskrit is Vishnu. Isha is Shiva. Okay? So that means Kaha, Aha, Ishaha, Keshavaha. All three murtis are inside in that one single word. Kaha, Aha, Ishaha, Keshavaha. So this all the three murtis, what we say, all three murtis are in that one single word, Keshava. Another understanding is he has killed a demon by name Keshi, which is referred in Padma Puranam. So that's why he got the word called Keshava. Okay. Next nama is called Purushottamaha. Purusha Uttamaha is called Purushottamaha. Among the Purusha, he is considered to be the Uttama Purusha. Okay. He is the Uttama Purusha. Uttama Purusha means what? He is the highest, the very special Purusha here. Purusha Uttamaha. All right. So this is how we have seen the relationship. So we say how we have related here. So the Purusha Uttamaha, so he is all the highest, ultimate, supreme who has got the Purusha Uttamaha. So when we culminate all this in this nama, what we can see in this verse, they have given all beautiful understanding of this nama, saying that how Narasimha has come, how the difference of Keshava has come, right? How we have to establish ourselves in the yoga. Every nama here reverberates a beautiful quality of the divine. So where he is talking about avatara level, and then he is trying to give what is the relation of this avatara level to our namas. Right? So where he is talking about Narasimha, Keshava, and then Yogaha, Yoga Vidam Neta, who is Purushottama, Purushaha. All this understanding what we get here is from this verse that the divine is, you cannot understand the nature of the divine. He can be totally a different personality, what he can exhibit himself, right? You cannot expect him in a different way. You cannot expect him in only the normal way that you want to see him. He can be totally different. He can be totally unique. He can exhibit himself like Narasimha. Can all away, he can jump as Krishna. He can come as an avatar as a Rama. He can be as a Parasurama. So we have no idea how these avatars will germinate and will come and how they can work in that, in the totality. Right? So that's basically what this verse is talking about. So the next verse we will start. Sarva Sarva Shivasthanur Bhudadhir Nidhiravyayah Shambhavo Pavano Partha Prabhava Prabhurishwaraha Sarva Sarva Shivasthanur Bhudadhir Nidhiravyayah Shambhavo Pavano Partha Prabhava Prabhurishwaraha. Sarvaha. What does it mean? Sarvaha means he is everything. He is everything. Okay? Whatever you see, the raw materials, whatever you see, what has come out, what are all the things, what is going to appear, is everything. You cannot hide. You cannot say a different character. He is everything. Sarvajñatvam. So that is called Sarvaha. Sharvaha. The next one is Sarvaha. What is that second Sarvaha means? That one who absorbs everything into him. Everything goes and resides with him during the Pralaya Kalam. Okay? During the Pralaya Kalam, what happens? Everything shrinks and gets into his body. Okay? To understand this, a beautiful story was narrated. There is a legend about Markandeya Rishi. So the Markandeya Rishi wants to witness this Pralayam. Okay? So he wants to witness this Pralayam. Pralayam means the end of this universe. He wants to see how this end of the universe happens. So he goes and seeks the boon from Vishnu Murti, and Narayana says, Tatastu, you will see it. So during the end of that universe is going to happen. So the Markandeya Rishi goes to one of the mountain top, and then he's sitting there and he starts witnessing. And the Vishnu Murti says, close your eyes and you will witness what is it. So he closes his eyes and then he sees all of a sudden what happens, the mountain where he is sitting, the mountain starts moving and then it goes and hits with the other mountains, the nearby mountains, and they are getting smashed and they become a lot of, into particles, and then they dissolve in the water. And the entire universe is filled with the water. All the water goes into a small hole and then it has been sucked into that hole and everything gone. And all of a sudden he sees another new flow of water he is seeing. Another new flow of water he is seeing. In that water, he is able to see a banyan leaf which is floating there. And then he can hear a child crying. So he's able to see, he's trying to see that. He himself is witnessing that. He's able to see what is happening. And he sees, how come a child in the Pralaya Kala, and the child is floating on that banyan leaf, and a small child, it is coming in that banyan leaf, and the child is, what it is doing is putting the right leg, the thumb, the right thumb in the mouth, and it is sucking. You could have seen the picture like that, which is called Alila Krishna. A Krishna by a small photo like a child and sucking the right leg thumb, right, on the mouth. So this is the Rupam what Krishna is showing to Markandeya. All of a sudden, and then he gets back and then he sees everything is intact. Then he understood what is it. Then he is searching for what is this, what is the meaning of it. He says everything goes and resides into that Narayana Murti. So that means Sarvaha. So first one is Sharvaha, next one is Sarvaha. So in this Sarvaha, everything goes and merges with him. So everything emerges from him, everything merges into him. That is what is called Sarvaha. Shivaha. So it's a beautiful word, Shiva. It's a beautiful word. What does Shiva represent? Okay, Shiva is about not only about the Ishvara Murti, what we are talking about. Shiva is not only about the Rudra Murti we are talking about. Shiva means auspicious. Shiva means auspicious, austerity. Okay, Shiva means austerity, auspiciousness. Mangala. So when you say Mangala, which is Shiva, how do we know that? How do we know that? There is a reference. Yes, there is a reference. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhage. Shive means in here who gives the Mangala. Sarvartha Sadhage Charanye Triambike Gauri Narayini Namostute. That Shive is a representation of Mangalam, auspiciousness. So, when you get that auspiciousness, what you need, that auspiciousness is the completeness what we want. Am I right? Auspiciousness is nothing but completeness. There is also one of the beautiful understanding of that word Mangala. And also you should have heard this slokam, also very famous from the Markandeya. What is the Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swata Namostute Jayanti Mangala Kali. What is that Mangala? Okay, the beauty, the understanding for that from the Guptavati. Guptavati is considered to be a greatest commentator for that under the Durga Saptashati. His name is called Bhaskara Rai. He says Mangala is equal to Moksham. Mangalam means moksha, one who grants you liberation, one who gives you that wisdom for liberation. So Shiva is nothing but Mangalam. Mangalam is nothing but liberation. So who can grant you liberation? Narayana Murti can give you that liberation. So he has that power of granting you that Shiva. That means that Mangalam for you. Right? So this is the understanding what we get. So beautiful namas which has come out from the great rishis, which have been made as a garland for us, which has given to us through this Vishnu Sahasranamam to us. So I just stop here and then Hari Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyarva Buddhyatmanabha Prakrite Swabhavat Karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayanaye samarpayami yadakshara pada prashtam matra hinam tu yad bhavet tat sarvam shamyadadheva narayana namostute vishakha bindu matrani pada bhadhaksharani cha nyunani chatirikhtani shammasya janardana anyadāt sharanam nasti tvameva sharanam mama tasmat karunya bhavena raksha raksha janardana. Hari Om Tat Sat Iti Sri Ramakrishnaarpanamastu Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisham Ko Brahmanebhya Subhamastu Nityam Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu.